Caitlin Clark's college records are in danger of being broken by USC teen JuJu Watkins. Caitlin Clark's throne at the top of college basketball history may soon be history itself. 19-year-old JuJu Watkins, a sophomore at USC, is on pace to smash many of the career records Clark set at Iowa. Watkins has arguably one-upped Clark's collegiate start as the best in the sport's history so far. Clark holds the record for most career points scored in history, among both men and women players with 3,951. But Watkins is on pace to take the jewelry for herself, with 1,142 already in just 38 career games. Clark took 40 games to hit that mark. In mid-November, Watkins crossed the 1,000-point marker 2 games before Clark as well. Watkins has consistently maintained the edge in scoring pace since then. With 376 total field goals, Watkins is on pace to finish with a larger total than Clark in that statistic as well. Watkins had a staggering 301 total field goals her freshman year, while Clark had just 266 as a freshman. This season, Watkins leads the NCAA with a 476 field goal percentage. If she holds that number throughout the end of the year, it will be a better field goal percentage than Clark ever had in a single season at Iowa. Granted, Watkins is only 8 games into the season. The biggest difference between the two players is scoring approach. Clark is undeniably the better three-point shooter, holding the NCAA's all-time three-point record that Watkins is nowhere near on pace to touching. Watkins does most of her damage from within the arc, and is a better finisher in the paint. Watkins scored the vast majority of her 920 points her freshman year off of a nation-leading 553 two-point shots. The most two-point shots Clark ever made in a single college season was 359 her sophomore year in 2021-22. Playing so strongly in the paint has also put Watkins at the foul line at a historic pace. Watkins leads the nation in free throws with 45 after leading it as a freshman with a staggering 241. The most Clark ever achieved in a season was 239, and that wasn't even until her junior year in 2022-23. Another critical stat that Watkins has vastly outpaced Clark in so far is steals. Watkins leads the country with 22 through 8 games after 78 as a freshman last year. The most Clark ever had in a season was 68, and that wasn't even until her historic senior year in 2023-24. However,
And you were playing with world number 1 Nelly Korda on your first 9. And
yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, that you were playing with Annika Sorenstam on the back 9. So
Yeah, I think I'm just excited, honestly. I'm not a professional golfer by any means, so I think just having fun and like getting to be with, two of the best to, probably ever play this game. It's super fun and special for me. Like I'm a fan of both of them, but a fan of, all the women on.
Watkins says her biggest sports hero is Lakers star LeBron James,
way sooner than anybody wants to admit. It took Bryce Harper a couple years. Outside of A'ja Wilson, on any night, you're like, is she the best player?
She's a trash talker.
Yeah.
She brings some of that onto herself. She's young. She's brash. She trash talks. She's awesome. She's going. So that part I think almost will be policed in and of itself. I don't think she's going to get injured, and I don't think we need to, the league needs to put out a mandate about anything like that. So the players stuff doesn't bother me. What does bother me is some of the people I deeply respect their basketball credentials, their basketball history, their commitment to basketball and women's basketball, I think have really not covered themselves in glory with some of this commentary. And I'm going to read you a quote, Colin, if I may, from, again, this person might know more about about women's basketball than any person who's ever lived, and that's Gino Auriemma. Gino Auriemma was on with my pal Dan Patrick a couple months ago when the Fever were struggling. And this was the quote. "This kid's on the wrong team.